it's a really good book. Like, it's really, really good. The detail is good. The writing in it is good. Will I like the ending? I don't know, but I am enjoying the book itself. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be talking to you about what I'm currently reading. And I've been recording some videos. There's some stuff just like sitting on my phone. And I've been trying to decide what I want to do. So I'm just going to share what I'm currently reading. So right now, once my other video gets posted, then you'll see where I'm talking about how I am trying to make some decisions about books that I had previously read, but then I changed my mind and I stopped reading them. They were my DNF books. So I'm going back and I am rereading some of them. And if I don't decide to keep them, well, if I don't decide to finish them, then I'm not going to keep them. I'm going to actually get rid of them. So this is one of the ways that I am actually like unhauling some of my books, I guess you could say. I did kind of like a vlog style of me rereading some of my books. I don't know if I'm going to post it because it was my first time really like doing a vlog style video, but I will see. So it's Friday and I'm just going to show you what I plan on reading today. It's actually a book that I had DNF'd, and then I'm going to go through with some of the books that I plan on reading for this month. That may stay in this video, or I may just make it a whole nother video all by itself, so we will see. So I'm going to be reading this weekend, and it's only 191 pages, so it may not even make it through the whole weekend. It may just be a read for today, maybe, we'll see. But I'm going to be reading A Mercy by Toni Morrison. I had started reading this back in, I think, 2020, and for some reason, I'm not exactly sure what the reason was, I stopped reading it, and I just kind of put it on my shelves. I think I was about halfway through the book when I did that. And I have a few other Toni Morrison books that I have read and actually loved, and that I've plowed through, you know, just quickly reading them. I'm not exactly sure why I didn't with this one, but I'm going to go ahead and restart it today. I thought about starting in the middle of the book and you know, where I left off, and just picking it up and going along. But as I sat down and do that last night, I kind of remember some things and then I didn't. And then I even thought that it would be a different experience for me if I went ahead and I read it again now from the beginning. I felt like it would really make a difference in how I enjoy the story if I just went ahead and I started it all over again, and, you know, just tried to enjoy the journey, because really that's what the whole thing about reading fiction is about, right? So I'm also trying this new thing with my coffee, because I'm a new vegetarian. I am not eating meat, and but I still have some meat products in my food, so I'm not vegan. However, I'm trying to get away from milk. So in my teas and my coffee, I've always had milk, or carnation milk, or some sort of creamer or something. So I just really started drinking coffee like last year. I've always been a tea person, always. And then I will only have like one coffee from Starbucks. But then my family bought me a Keurig, and not only could I have my my tea pods in there, but I could also have my coffee pods in there. So I learned how to make my own coffee the way that I like it, and now I drink more coffee. However, I also drink my tea. I still love my tea, but the point in that is I am trying a new creamer, It is a hazelnut and almond dairy-free creamer, and it's pretty good. I don't even know the name of it, but it's the same brand of almond milk that I drink. So I will have to see what that brand is. But anyway, it's really, really good, and I am loving the extra flavor that it gives, like not having to put any of the flavoring, like the vanilla flavoring or anything, because the coffee already has some flavor. I put a few some scoops of sugar in there, and then I put the hazelnut creamer, and so it's really nice. I really enjoyed that flavor. I didn't think I was gonna like it because I'm not a fan of hazelnut just yet. My kids like Nutella, and I tried it before and I didn't like it, and then recently I tried Nutella on some toast, so that was pretty good. Toast with Nutella and some strawberries. But anyway, this is not about my food. This is supposed to be about what I'm currently reading. I guess I could do a few different little updates here. Another thing, and I'll come back to my book, but another thing is on my hair. So if you saw my other video, then I decided that I was going to lock up my hair. So back in 2010, flies, so disrespectful. Anyway, back in 2010, I went from being permed to being fully natural. I cut off all my hair, and from 2010 up until December of last year, 2020, I was natural. So 2021, so that was 11 years. 11 years I kept my hair out loose, natural. I had not put any perm in my hair. I straightened my hair every once in a while. In the beginning, I straightened it a lot, and then one side of my hair fell off, and I stopped straightening for like 6 months, and it grew back completely. So I normally just either wore my hair in 2-strand twist, or I pulled it back in a ponytail, or sometimes I wore it out. So if you go through my videos, you'll see that sometimes I'll have my hair out, or I have it pulled back. There's one video in particular, if y'all see me swatting, I'm swatting a fly. There's one video in particular, the African American literature book, where I'm going through that. I have my hair out in an afro, and so it's been a really nice adventure, but I decided to lock my hair up back in December. So with that, this has also been a journey. I started with 2-strand twists, and it is now April, and so here is what it looks like. I did one retwist, and that's it. I'm just trying to see what I think about it, how I feel, because I don't really want my hair to be weighed down. I love my hair being big and poofy, and I like to see, just what it's gonna be like if I don't retwist it. But if I decide to retwist, then hey, that's up to me, right? I may or may not, but for right now, I'm not. I do have one thread right here that has decided to start splitting, so I have to decide what to do with it, or else it's gonna be like split here and then together up here at the root. I don't know, we'll see. And I have one big one in the bag that I wanted to see how it would work out to be what they call a Congo. But so that's a little mini update of my hair. I really don't want to retwist. I don't want to stress my hands. I don't want to stress my hair. I don't want to stress my budget. I like, just being free, and I like feeling free. So I'm gonna see how this goes. So far, I really like it. But back to my reading. Okay, so A Mercy, again, by Toni Morrison. I started reading it back in either 2020 or 2021, and I don't think I enjoyed the beginning of the book, and I'm not sure where I was mentally, or how I felt about certain things, but I just don't think I enjoyed it, and maybe that's why I stopped reading it. But I don't think it was the book. I think it was more of me and just where I was and what I was trying to do at the time. I was also I had also started reading a few other books that I did not exactly finish, that were, maybe I just felt like they were too heavy at the time. I don't know. But again, I'm going to be reading this weekend. My hope is to be done with it by Sunday. I may be done with it by tonight. I will see. But that is what I am thinking. Again, it says it's 100, so this is 196 pages. I'll read the summary. In the 1680s, the slave trade in the Americas is still in its infancy. Jacob Varg is an Anglo-Dutch trader and adventurer with a small holding in the harsh north. Despite his distaste for dealing in flesh, he takes a small slave girl in part payment for a bad debt from a plantation owner in Catholic Maryland. This is Florence, who can read and write and might be useful on his farm. Rejected by her mother, Florence looks for love, first from Lena, an older servant woman at her new master's house, and later from the handsome blacksmith, an African never enslaved who comes riding into their lives. A Mercy reveals what lies beneath the surface of slavery, but at its heart, like Beloved, it is the ambivalent, disturbing story of a mother and a daughter, a mother who cast off her daughter in order to save her, and a daughter who might never exercise that abandonment. It was the summary that made me stop. I don't know. But again, like I said, I'm in a different place now, so I may feel different about reading it. Okay, so that's a Mercy. One of the books that I am reading is, for me, one of my selections is called Her Name is Night, and I'm currently on page, it says I'm currently on page 90, and it's by Yasmin Ango. This is a really good book. I think I mentioned it before. The only thing that I will say is, if you have any, there are a lot of different triggers in this book, and there have even been points for me where I had to just like take a minute. In the beginning, I kind of plowed through it, and then I determined that I didn't want to read it before going to bed, and then I just said I was going to take a break from it. So I'm back at it again, and hopefully I'll be finishing this very, very soon. Again, it is called Her Name is Night by Yasmin Ango. I will say, it's a really good book. Like, it's really, really good. The detail is good. The writing in it is good. Will I like the ending? I don't know, but I am enjoying the book itself. It's really good. It draws you in. If you've watched any of my videos, right, for any given time, then you know I normally love reading nonfiction books, but I've been, over the years, I've tried my hand at some fiction, and so this is one of the ones that I'm trying, and I do like it. The book that I'm reading with my daughter is called You've Reached Sam, and sometimes what I do is I purchase books that I read with her. I put them on my paperwhite. I purchase them as a Kindle, and then we're able to share it in the library as she reads it on her Kindle. So we are reading this book, and so far I think I just got into chapter 2, and it had like a little slow moment in the beginning. Like, the prologue was pretty good, but then in chapter 1 it had like a little slow moment, and I know it was slow because even my daughter, she just kind of stopped for a second, and normally she plows through her books, and I said I hope that it doesn't continue this way, because then it's going to be difficult for me to read it. It's hard for me sometimes to read YA unless it's really, really good, just because it's already hard for me to read fiction unless it's really good. But we will see what happens. This is a book that I'm supposed to be reading with her, so The goal is to get through it. Hopefully I'll be finished with it by the end of next week. I have an app called Bookly that helps me to track my reading, and it also tells me how long I need to read a book each day if I want to finish it by a particular goal. And I think in general people take about 5 hours to read this book, so maybe if I read like 30 minutes a day, I'll be done with it. I may be finished with it before that, I don't know. But this is the other book that I'm going to be reading. So some of these I won't be reading this week. They'll be more like a what I'm reading for the month. But I'm also, as I said, I don't think I've published this other video, but what I am doing is I am kind of like a mood reader. I read depending on how I feel. So even when I say like this is what I'm reading this weekend or whatever, that could possibly change based upon how I feel. If I don't feel like reading it, I'm not gonna read it. So what I read this week, I have a few of the books over here that I want to share with you, but what I read this week was The Blossom Street, A Shop on Blossom Street by Debbie McComber. I did read this book. I'm going to do a review of it. It was a pretty good read. It is one of the books that I had originally, it was a DNF. I went back and I finished it actually in one day, and I asked myself, why did I put this book down in the first place? I have no idea, but it was pretty good, so I'm done with that one. Another book that I finished this week is Letter to My Daughter. It's a daughter? Yeah. I keep wanting to put an S. I keep wanting to say Letters to My Daughters, but it's Letter to My Daughter by Maya Angelou. I really enjoyed this one. This is the one that I was doing like a little mini vlog of, and then I kind of was like, I don't know. We'll see. But I enjoyed this. I read this in one day. That's why I'm saying I really think this will only take me about a day, because I read this in a day. This is like 160 pages. But again, this is nonfiction. I absolutely love reading nonfiction. So we'll see what happens with A Mercy. Okay. The other books that I'm considering for the weekend are We Were the Lucky Ones. This is a book that I started and did not finish, another DNF. I stopped reading it at page 246, and there are 395 pages in it. I know why I stopped reading this one. I wanted something else to read at the time. It was a lot of the same thing happening, and I just wanted more from the book, so I put it down and I stopped reading it. I have to go in my Goodreads or in my Bookly account on my reading journal to see exactly when I stopped reading it, but I know why. And just for the sake of and I don't remember what happened in this book too, but just for the sake of wanting to hit my goal, wanted to finish the book, and wanted to determine if I actually want to keep the book or not, I'm going to continue reading it. Now, will I read this weekend? I'm not exactly sure. I do have it out just in case I feel like it, because I keep looking at it and I keep saying I really need to finish this book. I really need to decide if I want to keep this book or if I want to get rid of this book or what I want to do. But I'm going to read you the summary just so you can see what it's about, okay? So it says, again, it is We Were the Lucky Ones by Georgia Hunter. Okay, We Were the Lucky Ones by Georgia Hunter. Okay, it says, in the spring of 1939, and 3 generations of the Kirk family are doing their best to live normal lives, even as the shadow of war grows closer. The talk around the family Seder table is of new babies and budding romance, not of the increasing hardships threatening Jews in their hometown of Radom, Poland. Soon the horrors overtaking Europe will become inescapable, and the Prucks will be flung to the far corners of the world, each desperately trying to navigate his or her own path to safety. A debut novel of breathtaking sweep and scope that propels readers from the jazz clubs of Paris to the farthest reaching of the Siberian Gulag, We Were the Lucky Ones, is an extraordinary story of love and hope in the face of one of the 20th century's darkest moments. It's very accurate. You are flung and kind of tossed, from corner to corner. And I think that's how it kept me reading this book. But once again, I was reading both of these at the same time. And I think at that time, all the heaviness was too much for me. And maybe that's why I stopped reading it. But I may finish soon. We'll see. Okay. Another book that I have that I will be considering for this weekend is The Testament. Now, The Testament is one that I got about 1/3 of the way through. And I really enjoyed it. I started reading this on vacation and I loved it, but I know why I stopped. At some point, when I stopped reading this book, they basically had taken a new direction in the book, introduced a new character, and it felt to me like they were trying something new or trying to appease a different type of reader. And because I had already gotten 200 pages, 170 something pages into the book with the same flow and style and expectation and knowing, really enjoying it, when it got to the point where it changed, it just disinterested me. I was just kind of like, nope, I'm not here for that. If I wanted that, I can go into another book. I am here for what y'all been doing in this book. But so I think I put it down thinking that I was going to quickly pick it up. But because I was no longer interested and I knew I was going to have to get through that part, I just stopped. So with a 500-page book, 400 or 500-page book, you stop 1/3 of the way through. To pick it back up, for me anyway, I have to be in the mood to read it and to really be like, okay, let me get through this section and hopefully the rest of it will still be good. So this is an option for this weekend, depending on how I feel. If not, then it's still on my list for my TBR for the year. I have not exactly done my TBR for the month. I had 3 books on my list for my TBR for the month, and I've already finished 2 of them. So I may have to add more and see what happens. All right, again, so this is The Testament. Okay, so it says, I hate that the flies think they could just invade my space and come drink my coffee. I made my coffee for me, not for them. Okay, anyway. For centuries, a hidden splinter set of the Francians has guarded secrets that could transform the world. Now the safety of those secrets and much more depends on one man. Braver man Bravo Shaw always knew his father had secrets, but not until Dexter Shaw dies mysteriously does Bravo discover the enormity of his father's life as a high-ranking member of the Order of Gnostic Observantines. For more than 800 years, the order has preserved an ancient cache, or cache, how do you say it, of documents that could shake Christianity to its foundations. But the rival knights of St. Clement will stop at nothing to obtain the treasure, and now Bravo is a target and a pawn in an ongoing war far larger and more deadly than any he could have imagined. From New York City to Washington, D.C., to Paris, to Venice, the race is on for the quintessential prize, The Testament. So this is the first part in a series, and I know that's why I started this one. The second one is called The Fallen. I'm gonna get ready to wrap this video up because it's getting kind of long. I've had to stop a few different times, which is okay. But I'm gonna share with you another book, and then I'm gonna come back another time and I'm gonna share these with y'all briefly. These are 2 reading journals that I have. I actually have another one that is not an actual reading journal that I actually just used to write in, but this one was a gift, and this one I purchased. This one, again, like I said, I'll go through them at another time. If you want to know more about them, leave me a comment down below. Just say, tell me you want to know more about these, and I'll do a video on them. But the last book that I am going to share today, it's not the last book that I'm reading, but it's the last book I'm going to share today, is The Last Thing You Surrender. So this one, I really want to get into it, right? I really want to read it. But I think the thing about it is, when I get in it, I just want to focus in on reading this. And these keep coming to mind. So I'm like, let me read these so that I can just sit down and enjoy this without thinking about all the other books that I want to read. I know that sounds weird, but that's how I feel about it right now. I think only thing I'm really sharing with y'all right now are my fiction reads. I have some nonfiction books that I'm also reading, but they're up in my office, and these are the only ones that I brought down right now. There are quite a few nonfiction books that are on my TBR, and it's because I really love reading nonfiction. But this book right here, I purchased this the year before last year, I think. And I did so because I saw Didi on Brown Girl Reading. She talked about it, and she always makes books seem so good when she likes them, right? When I read this, I really just want to focus on this. I don't want to be jumping from book to book. I just want to read. I think, things happen when we get older, like I'm sure this changes again, but I used to want to like bounce from thing to thing. And I don't know if it's because I've gotten older or because just something with me. But now when I do something, I kind of like want to remain consistent and just finish it. I don't want to like jump from thing to thing. I want to actually finish that, and then, and savor that, and then really enjoy that, and then move on. So that's this book. The last book that I plan on reading this month, not exactly this week, is Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. And I sent a sample of it to my Kindle Paperwhite, which is one thing I always try to do whenever I'm trying to decide what I want to read. I send myself a sample so I can start it. And then once I start it, I either determine that, yep, I'm gonna keep on reading it on my Kindle, or I'm just gonna go ahead and buy it. So some people are saying that they believe this is gonna be the Pulitzer Prize winner, and I just want to read it to see what I think about it. I read Colston Whitehead's, I think that's his name. I read his book Nickel Boys. It was such a great book. It brought me to tears. I didn't want it to end, and then I did want it to end. I wanted the situation to end, but when the book ended, I was so sad. And but anyway, that was nice for me to read and to have my own opinion on the Pulitzer Prize winner. So this is the love songs of W.B. Du Bois. Some people are suggesting that is going to be the winner. There's another book someone else was saying, the other books I haven't quite picked up yet. I just wanted to focus on this one. We'll see. So those are some of the books that I'm going to be reading. The ones that I'll be focusing on this week, this weekend, and the rest of the month. I'll come back to share, what I thought if I changed my mind, and to do like a review. So again, thank you so much for joining me and for watching. I think I talked a little bit about everything, just kind of like a catch up and, some bookish talking. So Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. And I will come back and talk to you again next time. Bye.